Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy YBP Gang, YBP Nation, YBP Boxing, YBP MMA. But today, it's YBP Boxing. And today, we're going to be breaking down the news that just came out that apparently Mike Tyson just suffered a huge health scare at the airport that could potentially put this big fight on Netflix at risk. Obviously, we got news, was it 2 months ago? It's been out for a while that Mike Tyson will be taking on Jake Paul July 20th for what's slated to be the biggest card that, honestly, just in history, just complete combat sports history, bigger than Conor Khabib, bigger than Conor Mayweather, bigger than any event that's been out there, just because of how many eyes are going to be on the event, Netflix, the amount of subscribers that it has. It just seems like it's going to be that event. You have two big names. You have one of the biggest social media stars in history with Jake Paul. I'm gassing him a little bit, but he's really that guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's brought a lot of eyes to the sport. When you talk about faces of boxing, you got to talk about Tank, you got to talk about Canelo, and now you have to talk about Jake Paul. And then Mike Tyson, one of the biggest, most recognizable names in the sport, got that tattoo on his face. He's the scariest man alive. Just Mike Tyson, just, he's iconic, man. When you talk about boxing, like, he's synonymous with boxing. You talk about Tyson, you talk about Ali, talk about Mayweather, all those guys. Those are like all-time greats. So having him in the ring at whatever age he is, it's going to attract eyes. It's going to attract attention. But the legitimacy of the event has been brought to question just considering the age difference that we have between Paul and Tyson. I think it's got to be like 50, 40 years. That's crazy. I mean, we've seen stuff like this where it's like, a younger guy, older guy, but I think people take issue to it because what Jake Paul is essentially doing is fighting Tyson, taking credit for it as if it's a legitimate win. And this is an older guy. This is a beloved guy in the boxing community, a beloved guy in the combat sports community, whether you watch kickboxing, karate, wrestling, MMA, whatever you watch. Like, Tyson's someone that you look up to. Tyson's someone that, you love to watch and you love to see what he has to do. So for him to go out here at 63 and potentially like just ruin his career all for just like maybe a bag, it rubs people a little bit like, the wrong way. So not to mention the fight, I think it's like 2-minute rounds, 14-ounce gloves, and like, what was the other thing? No stipulation. It's like, I think it's only like 8 rounds. So it's almost like a women's fight with like, it's just sparring basically. So it really brings the legitimacy of the event down like a lot. It's not even like a real fight. But they will be scrapping. I mean, a knockout can be happening, but now with this report coming out, New York Post reports that Jake Paul, I'm looking at the Jake Paul's reaction. Jake Paul reacts to Mike Tyson's health scare, gives update on status of Netflix fight. Now, he came out and actually said that everything's okay and that people are just doing stuff for clicks and that it's not that serious. Like, they're still going to be fighting. I think Texas Commission of Boxing says something similar, that they're still going to move forward with the fight, but with something like this, negative media attention, that I think it's going to ramp up. It's going to be like, yo, like, this guy's, how old is he? Like, 63. He's old, bro. He's very old. I'll have to double check how old he is, but very old guy, young Jake Paul. Not a good look at all. If I'm looking at exactly what happened, it says Tyson's reps told the Post that the famed boxer was dealing with nausea and dizziness due to an ulcer flare-up that occurred 30 minutes before the flight from Miami to L.A. Had landed. So he's just boarding a flight, man, just doing regular stuff. So imagine something like that happens in the fight, some health complication happens during the fight and the fight just gets canceled just like that. Like, stuff can happen with old people like that, it's just natural stuff. Like, not everyone, Tyson wasn't I don't know. I don't assume that he was like, someone like Ronaldo or like Messi. These guys like take care of their body so they can, train at the highest level for as long as they can. He's obviously in great shape, but he wasn't perfect. He probably did some stuff like throughout his career. And it's just not normal for a 63-year-old guy to be boxing in any capacity, to be doing high-level, athletic stuff into their, 60s, 70s. So, yeah, this doesn't look good. I don't think, if I had to give a prediction, will the fight continue? It probably will, just because, like, on paper, I think Mike Tyson's the name. Like, this is the fight, It's a lot of money to go into this event. I think Netflix wants to make a splash into the combat sports community. They want to leave a mark. They want to leave a lasting impression. They want this to be one of the biggest events. They have this fight. They have Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. They have Floyd Schofield and what's his name? Kid Austin. No, Kid Austin is Floyd Schofield. Floyd Schofield versus Ashton Silva. They the guy on the prospect on MVP Promotions. And then they have Darren Till, Julio Cesar Chavez. Just a lot of big names on the card to attract attention. I think that's the biggest thing going on with this event. It's going to be free. But having that main event, the main event sets the tone for the whole card. The whole card, everyone can get a knockout. But if you don't have that fire main event, that big main event, that banger main event, what does it even matter? That's what's going to set the tone for the card. So I did come up with like 3 guys that I think could step in that would match the same level of hype a Mike Tyson fight would and name value. KSI, that's a fight that a lot of people haven't wanted to see. And KSI's come out and said that he is bulking and he is, I don't know exactly what he said, but he said he's like 200 pounds or something like that. I'll try to find a clip and insert it.
Outweighed me. The weight was too much. So, there's a reason why I'm over 200 pounds now. And, I'm just working my way to being bigger in general, getting bigger muscles.
But he's ready. I think he wants to fight Tommy Fury. He wants to be heavier for that fight. And that would, line up with Jake Paul because he's already heavy. And then Ryan Garcia, this is kind of just like a dart throw. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but he's come out on social media and said that he wants to get in there with Jake Paul. He believes that his skill will be enough to fight a guy, even though he's way smaller. And honestly, you can't really be mad at the guy. I mean, you saw what he just did to Devin Haney. Devin Haney, one of my favorite boxers, but drugs or not, I mean, honestly, they should just let him take whatever drugs he wants to at this point. Like for the fight against Jake Paul, if he's gonna have that much of a significant size disadvantage, if they were to fight. Obviously, this is all speculation, but yeah, I think you'd have to give him a chance in the fight against with all the experience that he has and Jake Paul not having as much experience. But just a high name fight, and Ryan Garcia, Jake Paul, both kind of in tune with the kids, influenced. They know how to sell a fight. I think it'll make for a good event. And then the last one I got is Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury, I mean, they had that fight in Saudi Arabia. It didn't go the way that Jake Paul wanted to have it go. Decently close fight, pretty competitive, and I think it'll make for cool little rematch. Obviously, with Tyson Fury losing his first professional fight, little storyline there. Jake Paul going back, getting his revenge, and at heavyweight too. So, and he's a decently big name too. The Fury name is still alive and well. Fury's gonna try to go out there and get a win over Usyk, try to become undisputed again if he still has the belts, but. Yeah, Fury name's still big. I think Tommy Fury, not quite as big of a name as KSI, Ryan Garcia, or Tyson, but still a marquee name, still a name that people somewhat recognize and will put on a great show. So those are my 3 right there. If I had to give a prediction of what actually is going to happen, I don't know if I already said this, but I think the event still goes on. I think they're going to try to push it as much as possible. I think they're actually going to really, really push for this to happen. I don't know, because if it's not Mike Tyson, I don't know who matches that they could get on. Because you got to also remember, today's May 27th. The fight's in like a month. It's July 20th. We're about to be done with May. June's coming up. July is like right around the corner. So you're asking someone, a big name, on short notice to come in and fight on the card. That's kind of... And it has to be a heavyweight. I don't really know who you're going to find. Maybe leave a comment if you guys have a better name or any other suggestions. But that's all I really got for y'all today. Leave a like on the video, subscribe. Peace out. You know what it is.